It rained pretty steady, I would say 5 hours. I did have some water get in. My feet were getting a little wet, and not my greatest night's sleep. Excited to go back down briefly into Arizona and then up into Colorado, and we will see Mesa Verde today. Why am I out here doing this? Because this is the end game, folks. Absolute first thing I've done is get my sleeping bag and all of the wet clothes from yesterday out and drying. Well, one way to look at this is to be annoyed that a second night in a row I'm getting rained on. In the cold winters, they could be warm down there as a community, and they would literally have hundreds of families living in these cliffs. I'm really glad I did it. Long ride in the saddle, and seems like a lot of cowboys that lived in this area probably said the same thing about this part of the country. A lot of time in the saddle. Day 4. Much better night's sleep last night. Dry. No rain. Gonna get packed up. Gonna go. Not sure if I shared this before, but just wanted to mention that there's so much that I'm unable to stop and show you guys. In particular, like the town of Hurricane, Utah had these like blacksmith shop and Pioneer Days museums, and I've got so many miles to make in this trip because the distance is so far, and I just can't show it all to you. So the lesson there is, if you like this area and some of what I'm showing, you could just simply come ride around here for weeks and see lots and lots of stuff. Just Utah, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico would offer a lot to see. Anyways, getting packed up. Let's go to Colorado Springs and hopefully Pikes Peak. the weather is going to cooperate with me, at least this morning. Well, and look who's out this morning. Well, and I missed it, but right beside me, I had just turned the camera off. Little fawn jumped up out of these grasses, like right there. It's so funny how close they can be to you and you don't see them. You know, little Bambi just hopped right up. Let's see if you know you're in there. There he or she is. Saying, "Where's Mom? 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 Hello?" Oh, there you go.
What I find is I do the oatmeal thing in the morning and I hit the road, and like 6 hours, 7 hours later, I get a meal. For whatever reason, I'm just so driven to make the miles. Perhaps that's a byproduct of my plan, which has a lot of miles in it. There's a balance I'm striking between family who's living without me and I'm living without them, which is not ideal. And reaching my goal. And so I've only got so many days in my mind to do all of this. So long miles. But the V-Strom is so wonderful at it. I put this behind me, it's like a backrest. I kick my feet up on the crash bars, set the cruise. Okay, V-Strom doesn't come with cruise. I'll show you what I have for cruise. It's a throttle lock. But it works. And it's cheap. I set the throttle lock and just enjoy the scenery. And, you know, I'm humming along at a very fast pace. The bike is happy doing that all day. I'm comfortable. It's like I'm sitting in a lazy boy.
I made myself a second cup of coffee to enjoy while I packed my things up and got myself on the road. This is the kind of riding that I dream about when I'm not riding. It's when it most feels like flying. I've said that before in other videos, but it's absolutely true. Depending upon my mood, a technical road like this, I might attack it very aggressively, and that can be a blast. And then there's other times, like this day, this morning, when I just want to take it in a real lazy pace and really soak up the fact that I'm out here doing this and that this is my life in that moment, and just be amazed by it. To me, a life well lived is a life
that has many moments where I'm filled with a complete sense of wonder. As I left the national park area, I made my way east across Colorado and eventually, in what seemed like a short period of time, reached the mountain town of Durango, Colorado. It's Friday. Okay, so I found this little place called the Lone Spur Cafe in, where the heck am I? I don't even know. I'm in Colorado. I'm east of Bayfield and Durango. I know that. Maybe it's called Pagosa? Anyways, a one-of-a-kind place, not a chain. Had a nice breakfast. Scrambled eggs with chorizo. Chorizo being Spanish, not American, but that's all right. And fruit bowl. The weather is beautiful, and I can sit outside comfortably, and I can see my bike from here. This is one of those little roadside attractions that I like to stop at, and I mean roadside, you can hear it right behind me. Anyways, this was part of the Alamosa, Colorado, Denver, Rio Grande Western Railroad. And from what I've just read, this is a narrow gauge railroad. Your typical gauge railroad is like over 4 feet wide. And I believe that ties back to the width of Roman roadways in Europe. That's something to Google, but I picked that up somewhere. Anyways, these are narrower so they can turn tighter corners, and that allowed it to be able to negotiate, narrow mountain passes better than a standard gauge railroad could. And they hauled freight and passengers all throughout this area. This was like the internet of its time. This technology, steam technology, changed the world. Okay, motel room. Total, not a great place. But, I got a pretty good rate. It's also in what appears to be, I don't know if there's a good part of town or a bad part of town. I haven't figured that out yet. But I'm in Colorado Springs. It's shower time. But you know what? Before I even get too committed to this room, when you're in a dicey place like this, you've got to check the mattress for bed bugs or signs of bed bugs. And so I gotta strip those sheets off if it get down to the mattress. I'll check the pillows too. I'm sorry to say that I have experience with them in the past that taught me to be vigilant. But essentially, what you're looking for in the sheets and in the mattress below are like these little black stains. What they are is when the bed bugs suck your blood, their excrement is this black stuff, and then when you go to clean it up, it's blood red again because it's made from your blood. And you don't want them. They're bad news. I am happy to report that I see no signs of them. The other place you might see them is in the carpet around the mattress or underneath it. I think we're okay. We can keep this room. I guess what I'll tell you is if they're in a room, my family and I were affected by these things on a trip to Disneyland, and we stayed at what looked like an okay hotel online, but then of course when you get there the pictures are quite deceiving. But we did it and enjoyed the parks, had a great vacation, but we put all of our luggage out on the floor, and you take like your dirty socks and your underwear and you throw them on the floor next to your bag. And if the bed bugs are in the room, they're in the carpet and they get into your clothes, then you pack them up in your bags, or they just crawl up in your bags and you take them home with you. So we flew them back to Minnesota with us, brought those same bags in our bedroom, opened them up on the floor, unloaded them. Yes, we did the laundry, but those bags still sat there just long enough, and that was it. And so steam cleaned the entire bedroom, steamed the mattress, washing everything multiple times. You don't want them. And of course, they're chewing on your legs while you sleep too, which is no fun. So there you go, shower time. I remember Central Park in fall, the way you tore your dress, what a mess, I confess. So I just put on my last pair of clean underwear and clean socks, and since this is hotel time, it's also laundry time. And I could go spend time finding a laundromat, running a whole wash load, which is what, 35, 40 minutes, maybe 45, then waiting for the dryer, and then drive back here. You know, that's 2 hours, 2.5 maybe. I'm just gonna clean up, and then I brought my own laundry detergent with. I'm gonna put it in the sink and wash my underwear, socks, and shirts. They don't need like 45 minutes of spinning around, and then I can hang them, and then I can go off and see Pikes Peak, which is my destination here. But at least that stuff will be drying the whole time I'm gone and all night, and should be fine by morning, and I'll be back into clean clothes. And it's not gonna take 2.5 hours. It's gonna take more like 15 minutes. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. The other thing is I have no idea how bad an idea it is to go to Pikes Peak on a Friday afternoon / evening. I'm here, and this is the only time I'm here. I'm gonna go do it, and it is what it is. I also have yet to determine which one of these peaks is Pikes. I think it's over there, but if it's over there, clearly it's raining. So I got my laundry detergent that I brought with. Couple minutes. You know, it's very planes, trains, and automobiles, but if you step back from the weirdness of it all, it makes a lot of sense. This is about saving time for me. And then in the bathtub, I've got my rinse water, and I just squeeze the soapy water out, throw the washed items in there for a rinse. Okay, so I've got laundry all double rinsed and washed. Socks hanging from the rack there, all of it over the tub. Kept the exhaust fan running. Presumably it is actually exhausting air from the bathroom outside. And so whatever humid air, which clearly there's going to be humid air in this room, will exhaust that and help dry the clothes. Hung a couple items in there. Got some boxer shorts in front of the vent, so they'll be dry very fast. And you know, I can rotate things over there as needed. And so that's it. I got clean laundry again for the next 4 days. Frankly, I'm gonna be with my dad in Fargo within that amount of time. So just a couple nights of camping, I gotta make it now, but you know, while I'm washing this stuff, I originally estimated about 15 minutes. I think it probably took 20, but way less than driving to a laundromat. You know, where one is, I gotta find it and then get change and quarters, and do I have enough ones for the change machine? Just forget it. It's done. Now I'm gonna go see Pikes Peak. I was hearing this very strange sound at the door and came out to find raindrops. And I do not think I am headed up on Pikes Peak right now. Pass. So, sorry. That ain't happening tonight. Such a sad little V-Strom. So, as is often the case with me, as soon as I had idle time, my mind went immediately to food, and I walked to the nearest restaurant right next door to my motel. The place is completely full. I think I picked a good one. So, yeah, I've officially given up on Pikes Peak for today, and I think that's going to kill it for the whole trip because tomorrow, I toyed with the idea of doing it in the morning. Tomorrow's distance is my longest yet, and so I don't think that's going to happen. But riding up Pikes Peak was going to be riding my motorcycle up a twisty mountain road that happens to be a famous raceway. Um, Other than that, I've already been around a lot of twisty Rocky Mountain roads today and some of these other days that are on this series already. I think I'm just going to leave it at that, and we won't get Pikes Peak. So sorry about that. I did want to just do a little bit on what's my routine at the end of the day when I finally get settled into either having my tent set up and my sleeping bag and my camp arranged, or here it was my room, had dinner, did my laundry. But every night at this time, what I end up doing is taking all of the footage from three different cameras plus my phone, and so four cameras essentially is what I'm carrying with me, and put it all on my laptop and just back up all those files. It's kind of a massive amount of data, all of these video files, and a lot of it, of course, gets edited out. But that's what I'm doing, and it takes me about 20 minutes or so to get it all organized and keep it so that when I get back, I can edit and create and release the series that you are now watching. So, a little behind the scenes there. And so, as I edit this video you're watching right now, I realize I didn't do a wrap up when I was in the room. So, here's your wrap up. This was day 4 of my what ended up being a 24-day trip. And this was Mesa Verde to Colorado Springs. And yes, Pikes Peak didn't work out. You can't control the weather, and you got to be flexible somewhat on trips like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I am really enjoying editing these things as we go along because I'm getting to relive the trip. And a lot more to come, and a lot more really interesting events, frankly, if I will humbly say so myself. It was an amazing trip. So I really appreciate each and every one of you for following along. Hey, a quick shout out to Anders at Around on a Bike. He's also publishing a series right now going around Eastern Europe called Around Without a Plan. And he's got just some great motorcycle travel videos. So check out Around on a Bike on YouTube also. He's been inspiring to me and played no small part in getting me to do this trip, to be frank. And that's it. Take care, you guys. We'll see you in the next episode.